Hey, it's Cody. Today I'm flipping through these two decks. This is the Relative Tarot and the Rosebud Tarot. I put these back in order yesterday, and I was gonna flip through them and just see. I feel like there's kind of sometimes when I feel like decks have similarities, I just like to go through them and look at just the things that are similar and the differences between them. And then I realized, why don't I just wait until daylight today and I could just do this, like, film myself doing it just in case anybody else wanted to see this. So, okay, these two decks, both of these have been sent to me by Wiser Books for review. I did not purchase either of these two decks with my own money. This one, I've already done a review on and things earlier in my channel. The Rosebud Tarot just recently was sent to me. I don't think even a week ago now since I've gotten it. And I've just started to work with this one. But somehow I just feel like there's similarities between the two, and I just thought it would be fun to do a little flip through, a little, side-by-side comparison kind of thing. That nobody asked for but me. So, alright, so I'm gonna open this one up first. I mean, it's not like this is the first time I've done anything with it. Okay, so, like, obviously we've got box differences. I definitely prefer this kind of box just because it's smaller. It's the kind of thing I could, like, throw in my purse and take somewhere. The guidebooks, I do have a couple things to say about the guidebooks, but I'll do that at the end. So the Relative Tarot, I will say, came with alternate cards for the lovers. Okay, the lovers cards, we've got different sorts of relationships pictured here. You can pick. I did pick the one that looks like female and male just because I'm married to a man, so that's kind of the relationship I'm in. There's also justice and strength. There's each of these ones, one numbered 8 and one numbered 11, so I did keep the ones that align with the Waite Smith style of reading in the deck. These were extra ones, which I really appreciate. I like that a lot. Okay. Put this guy here. Rosebud Tarot has little opening thingies. Question what you think you know. Okay. This one, also... Fuck. My stuff. Fuck's sake. Alright. This one has the guidebook. Smaller guidebook. We'll put this one over here with that. Roses. It does not have any extra cards or anything. Okay. I will mention really quickly that I have fucked with the edges of both of these decks. For the Rosebud, it probably needs another coat, but I had a pink Sharpie that I felt like was perfect. It did not come with these edges like this. It was just the plain old, like, white card borders. This one, I don't know if I would call it distressed. This came with gold gilding on it that had a lip on the backs of the cards. So if you held it and shuffled it, if you were riffle shuffling it face down, the cards would clump and catch on each other. And I don't really like shuffling decks, like, with the actual card faces up. So what I ended up doing was using a little bit of fucking sandpaper, and I just, like, sanded kind of along the edges so it looks old, it looks crusty. Is it my best work? No, it's fucking not. But you know what? I felt like it kind of went with the theme of the deck, and now I can shuffle it nicely. Okay, so the similarities between these decks. The first thing is that these were both indie decks. They had Kickstarters, and then afterwards both had been picked up by Wiser Books to be published mass market. So I did go and look at like the Kickstarter campaign information that's still up. and it actually has all of the card art for the Rosebud Tarot, and none of the images have been changed. I do know for the Relative Tarot, okay, I'm not exactly sure how this deck was made, other than, okay, the Relative Tarot, there was apparently a group with the deck creator, Carrie Paris, had people send in black and white photos of their relatives, so it's the Relative Tarot. And I'm going to say probably pretty much everyone in that group was white, because I believe, for the most part, anyone in this deck who is not white, the artwork was changed and added once it got picked up in mass market. I don't have access to all of the pictures of the independently published one, but I'm saying that I don't know how much diversity was built into this deck. I will say that the diversity in this one was built right in. Alright, so, get a little closer here. Okay. We'll just look at the back. So like this. The card, I will say I prefer the cardstock on the Rosebud Tarot. It's matte. It's kind of, I don't know, it's more flexible, whereas this is, I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily call it glossy, but kind of. The Relative Tarot is taller and thinner. This one is a little shorter and wider. I don't know if that really changes much when shuffling. Alright, I want to get in here so you can really see these motherfuckers. Okay. Alright, here we are at the Fool. So as you can see, both of these decks have a similar art style in that they're black and white photos. Why is this not just sitting still? Jesus. They're black and white photos photoshopped onto colored backgrounds that were created for them. So the Relative Tarot has background imagery that has to do with the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, right? So we see here, we've got our Fool, somebody's relative, and then we've got the Fool's little doggy there, and here's the cliff, right? Whereas this one is not necessarily, I mean, it's reminiscent of Rider-Waite-Smith. It's done in that style, but it doesn't literally have parts of the artwork. There's some renamings in the Rosebud Tarot. Here we have the Youth is Zero. I feel like I've seen this little girl on another deck, but I went through this one and it's not that one. So I don't know what it is. But she's got her doggy. The stuff down here on this on the Relative Tarot, it is on the bottom of each card. It has to do with like figuring birth cards. We have the Magician and the Mage. Again, we can see our, more traditional magician's table back there with his things. We see his arm up and the one down, and the person here sort of mirroring that. This one doesn't so much have the, bringing spirit into matter sort of hand position, but that's okay. We are at the High Priestess and the Witch. I like both of these cards a lot. Here we've got the Empress and the Life Giver. I don't know if you can already tell we're getting more diversity in the Rosebud Tarot. But like I said, I'm not sure where the artist for the Rosebud Tarot, I guess I never said, got Harper and Stillwell, got the photos for this. We've got the Emperor, and this one is the Elder. This is actually, according to the guidebook, an old woman. So we have gotten rid of sort of the masculine slant of the Emperor. The Hierophant and the Professor. I really like the renamings in this deck. I feel like they make sense, and they take away just some of the things that are just sort of outdated about the tarot. We've got our lovers. The Chariot. This Chariot cracks me up because I feel like this photo is probably first like a child or a man or something over here, but they've changed it to being cats. That's fucking funny. Strength. I have a clear favorite here. I do prefer this one just because strength to me is very much about not the physical strength, whereas this one has, you know, got a strong woman or whatever here. But I do like the lines of both. Here we have the Hermit and the Seeker. The Wheel of Fortune and the Wheel. Okay, I personally have something against like gambling things being shown on the wheel card. I don't like it. I don't like dice and little raffle tickets and shit. I love this. I don't like this part. I don't know why that's a thing. Like, some people have things they fucking hate seeing, and for me it's that. Here we've got Justice and Balance. The Hanged Man and the Hang Up. Now, I'm not sure about the name change for the Rosebud Tarot being the Hang Up, just because I feel like it changes the card meaning as well. Like a hang up, like something, you know, that's sort of an obstacle or stopping you or in your way, or that's not how I read the Hanged Man, so I don't really like that very much. All right, here we've got Death. Definitely my favorite is whatever the fuck is going on right here in the Rosebud Tarot. It's like creepy fae. All right, here we've got Temperance and Alchemy. There's the Devil. Both of these are called the Tower. Here is the Star. I love this one in the Rosebud Tarot. That's super cool. Here's the Moon. Here's the Sun. Okay, I hate sun cards fucking 9 times out of 10. I just, it's not that I hate light or happiness. It's just I hate the way it's depicted. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this one. And also, I don't like the spotlights. Like, I feel like I would be better. I love her. I like the idea of the yellow rose, but like, why the fucking spotlights? I don't like that. Sorry. All right. Here's Judgment and Emergence. So this is, you know, obviously Rider-Waite Smith inspired. This one I really like. We've got Faye emerging from a forest, and rather than being like most of these cards seem to be colorful backgrounds and the actual figures are black and white, I mean, these figures are still black and white, but the background is too, and their little wings and their mushrooms and things are the color. Oh my god, there are children outside, not just random children, mine, and they're being fucking loud. All right, here is the Universe and the World. So in the guidebook, it points out that the world in the Rosebud Tarot has the same wings, butterfly wings, as the Youth or the Fool, as in she has made it through all of the trials and things and grown up. I like that. I really like this deserty sort of background. Okay, so I don't know how to say this without being a dickhead. Okay, when I once had a singing teacher who said to me, if you start strong and you end strong, usually people will forget whatever fuckery happened in the middle. Okay, so that makes me think of the way this deck specifically was ordered within the box. It actually had the cup suit first, which this deck calls water. And it had court cards going backwards I mean, okay, I didn't explain that well. It's got the 4 courts and then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then the majors were last. So I feel like the way this deck was stacked in the box for a person to newly see it felt like the Jesus Christ, sorry this is so wobbly. Felt like the advice for singing that I had received in high school. Because for me personally, I think the suit of cups and the majors are the best things about this deck, and I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the other shit going on. Just bear with me. All right, so here we've got Ace of Cups and Ace of Water. Now, when I got this deck, the Rosebud Tarot, I thought that there was going to be more rose sort of references, maybe. I don't know, man. Like, this one has the roses actually, like, we've got pink sky, the rose is actually a part of it. But for a lot of the deck, the roses are just kind of like awkwardly placed around. Um, Rather than seeming like they're actually a part of what's happening. I don't really know how to explain that, but just, well, bear with me, okay, and we'll look at it. All right, here we are, the Two of Cups and the Two of Water. We've got the Three of Cups and Three of Water. The Fours. The Fives. Also staying on theme, the Rosebud Tarot for the water suit. Instead of being cups, it is watering cans. Here's the Six of Water. Seven. 8. 9s. And 10s. Alright, so there are renamings for the court cards in the Rosebud Tarot, and I actually really like them. Sometimes I'm a little bit shitty about court card renamings, just because sometimes if I don't feel like they make sense to me, I don't know what the fuck it's talking about. But for pages, it calls them curiosities. Knights are velocity. Queens are generosity. On there, turtles and shit. And kings are sovereignty. So really, when I opened up the Rosebud Tarot, this was the first card that I saw. All right, now we're Two Pentacles and Earth. So for the Rosebud Tarot, we have pots. Here's our Two of Earth. Is this the moon and the earth they're standing on, I think? Three of Earth. The Four of Earth. The Five of Earth. There's something awkward kind of about the artwork in the Rosebud Tarot. I don't know exactly what it is that is like distracting to me almost. Like, this guy's just kind of standing there being awkward to begin with, but like, here's the Six of Earth. Like, here's how the roses are put in there. For some reason, I don't know. I thought that the theme of roses would be a little bit more prevalent somehow, and I don't really exactly know what I mean by that, but I mean something, okay? Like, I don't know, man. I mean, there's roses. That's kids dumping them. Here's our 8. Not exactly sure how this card represents the 8 of Earth. Like, what is happening? I don't know. Here's the 9 of Earth. The 10 of Earth. We've got our Page and Curiosity. In my heart, this is Lizzie Borden. The Knight and Velocity. Queen and Generosity. And King and Sovereignty. Alright, here we are in the suit of air. So for the Rosebud Tarot, we've got like pruning shears. A 2, 3. I love the Three of Swords in the Relative Tarot. He's just sitting there chilling with the sword through his fucking head. Here's our 4. 5. So I was really thinking a lot about this card as I looked at it. The guidebook did not say this, but I'm pretty sure this is a depiction of, you know, the women's voting rights movement in which white women wanted black women to help them, you know, campaign for rights. But then when the time came, they're like, oh, well, fuck that. We're the only ones that need to vote. And so black women did not earn the right to vote at that point. I feel like that situation is more fucked up than this 5 of air or 5 of swords. Okay. Here we are, 6 of air. 7 of air. 8 of air. I like the little, what is this? All I know is like Cat's Cradle shit that I can only do the beginning part of from like elementary school. I don't know how he's doing all that stuff. Here we've got our 9. And our 10. Here's our Page and Curiosity. This kid is so fucking creepy. This one's got a fox. Our Knight and Velocity. Queen and Generosity. I really like the foxes in this one here. And King and Sovereignty. Here are our wands. So wands here I think are just like stems for the Rosebud. First thing I thought of when I saw this, 2 of Fire from the Rosebud Tarot. Jesus, why can't I say Rosebud Tarot? I got like Amelia Earhart vibes, but I don't think that's her. Threes. 4s. 5. 6. I love the 6 of Wands, and I hate this one. I hope that's like, I don't know. I'll move on from that. 7. 8. This is hands down my least favorite card from the Rosebud Tarot. I don't know why, but I fucking hate this. 9. 10s. 'Page and Curiosity. Knight and Velocity. Queen and Generosity. And our King and Sovereignty. So we flip through the decks. Sorry, I'm just trying to straighten this so I can get it out of the way so we can take a quick look at the guidebooks if that's something that you're interested in seeing. Obviously, you don't have to sit here and look at my bullshit. Okay. I'm not necessarily trying to like make these decks like fight each other, but I will say that there is a clear winner when it comes to these two guidebooks. So this says it's a guidebook for the diligent diviner, but it actually has no card meanings whatsoever. This whole thing is about calculating your birth card. Which, I mean, that's fine. It's kind of a weird thing to be the guidebook that goes with a deck. The Rosebud Tarot, however, I am in fucking love with this guidebook. What a fantastic approach. Okay, I cringe when I see poems in guidebooks sometimes, because a lot of times they're just fucking poorly done. Like, I think the worst thing that ever happened to, like, those, Oracle of the Witch, whatever, where there's like the different Wheel of the Year things. So there's a Yule one, there's a Samhain one, there's a Beltane one. They're coming out with is it Imbolc? However the fuck you say that one, I don't know. But the worst, absolute worst thing is there's like these little poems all like literally printed on the cards, and it stops me. It prevents me from using them. I hate them so bad. Okay, but moving on. We're not talking about that. What we are talking about is the poems in here. Okay, so we've got a little color picture of the card, kind of what's going on in both of these. And then we've got these poems that are fucking perfect. No, this is the wheel. No life is without sorrow. No life is without joy. And no one, absolutely no one, gets out of this alive. Every moment rises only to fall, and without a fall there would be no spring. An endless circling where the only constant is change, the only stable truth, this too shall pass. Where was one that... Here is the mage or the magician. To be spirit made flesh is to be spirit made crafter. Tangible hands touching creation, the pulse of the cosmos. Heart beating a rhythm of magic, of mastery within, the elusive borderlands of reality. Will you acknowledge your agency? Will you remember your role as the bridge between the unseen and the precious ephemerality of incarnation? For me, these very much speak to the way that I read the cards. I feel like if the poems don't really align with how you read them, I can understand that it might not be your favorite thing. But for me, it really is. The minors just have little poetic sorts of things, right? Two torches lead the way, headlamps in the dark, leadership. To decide is to prune away opinions and choose which what if will be answered. So I kind of feel like where I'm unsure on some of the artwork for the Rosebud Tarot, I really feel like it shines in its like creation. The guidebook, the setup, the thematic sort of things. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that I have a which one of these decks that I like more than the other. I really feel like they both have their pros and cons. And I think ultimately, if you were interested in one of these decks, but not necessarily feeling like you needed both, it ultimately probably just comes down to your aesthetic preference, which art style you liked better. So anyway, that's what I'm on here for today. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Bye.